Hello. Let's talk about your marriage and your relationship being the perfect classroom for your growth. This is probably one of the most important concepts I would say that you need to know in order to navigate through relationship, navigate through your life with some semblance of anchoredness, rootedness, calm, a sense of control, a sense, not control, but a sense of um, uh, internal quiet and trust as you go through your life. Okay. So, this teaching is so foundational to everything because it helps to orient you to the problem that you believe that you have in your relationship. And, sort of the old structure of relationship therapy and, um, what most of us were taught as couples therapists was how to fix the problem and how to, teach communication skills and negotiate what's happening in your relationship, help one person listen to the other person, kind of air your grievances with each other. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's really comes from a real particular model of how it is, that like your marriage is something that needs to be fixed and that it's somehow linear, that you're at point A and you want to get to point B. So, how I see relationships and how it is that I mentor the women who I work with in relationship is that your marriage, your relationship, your committed relationship, and this doesn't matter if it's a relationship that you have with your partner, your spouse, your adult child, your aging mother. I have one woman in my program right now who's, bravely untangling codependency with her 40-something-year-old daughter. And so all of these different relationships are a classroom for your own healing. They are showing up for you exactly what it is that you need to be working on in order to create your own transformation and your own change. Unfortunately, most of us come from this perspective where, we believe that we're kind of, I'm doing all my stuff and my partner, that person needs to change. That person needs to get sober. That person needs to do things differently, right? And as long as you're in that framework, which I call your 1.0 identity, which will feel very push pull, right? You're going to feel stuck. So we're going to be talking about how to look at that very differently. And I'm going to try to keep this video in like 10 minutes because I want to make it bite-sized and snappy for you all. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jenny Glick. I'm a relationship mentor, licensed marriage and family therapist, an AASECT certified sex therapist. And I have created a program to help women become sober from toxic patterns in their relationships so that they can really fully embody the highest potential of themselves. And so my clients or students is how I think of them, have chosen to embark on a lifestyle of transformation, which means they are seeing every one of their relationships, their primary relationships, as mirroring back to them what it is that they need to grow and they need to shift from. Most of the women who I work with are in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s plus. And they're sophisticated women who have insight, who recognize there are some patterns here. I'm seeing some patterns here. Or, oh my gosh, I'm finding myself in my second marriage or third really serious adult relationship. And there's some stuff coming up for me that I have never seen before. I'm behaving in a way that is not congruent with how I have seen myself historically. And so the women who I work with are at a moment where they recognize that they are powerful enough to create the system that they are in. Unconsciously, they did it, and they're ready to consciously make some changes to do it differently. And so in 5 minutes or less, I'm just going to help orient you a little bit to how that goes. And the first thing to recognize is that whatever situation you are in, you have created it, which is a sobering concept and maybe one that you don't like or you don't want to see or understand, because we often want to sort of tell a story that I am victim to what's happening around me, or I didn't have control, or, my partner, gambled all the money away, which is why we don't have the home that we wanted, all of those things. And that might be true, right? And where is it that you have personal responsibility in it? Because until you are able and willing to ground in 100% how it is that you're responsible for what's happening in your life, you actually won't be able to get on top of it and create the life that you want. I'm seeing this happening right now with a family member who was in a very long, many decades long relationship with someone. And it ended up really bad. It didn't go well at the very end at all. And he has recently gotten into another relationship with someone who's only been a couple of years this time, and their ending is really bad. And when I say bad, I mean like just difficult. It's not good or bad. It's what needs to be happening so that both parties can really see the dynamics that they're bringing to the relationship, right? And sometimes some of us, the dynamics need to get really blatant. I was going to say ugly. Like it has to be really tough in order for us to be willing to see it, right? And so using that example, of the person whose spouse gambled all the money away, likely that started in much smaller ways, where it is that we sort of can close our eyes to the finances or let the other person handle it, or, just say, my partner didn't mean that when they yelled or raised their voice, or we don't need to deal with this now. We'll deal with it when the kids get older. It's not that big of a deal that I had sex when I didn't really feel like it. It won't happen again, right? We just sort of put things aside and don't deal with them and don't recognize, every one of these kind of little things starts to create a pattern in our relationship and what I call rules of engagement. And these rules of engagement become the pattern through which you're going to have your relationship. So one kind of blowout where there's name calling, you just put that on the menu. That just became a unconsciously agreed upon tool, method for you and your partner to engage in conflict resolution. You maybe don't like it. You maybe have said, no, I don't want to be a part of this, but you're still a part of that contract because you're in that relationship, even if you're pushing against that particular tactic. Does that make sense? And so when you're brave enough, committed enough, willing enough to really look at what is it that I am willing to be accountable for, all of it. Like when I'm willing to be accountable for all of it, not in a shame way, there's nothing to be ashamed of or embarrassed about. It's a beautiful, powerful experience as a woman to look at your life and say, I created this and I'm so powerful that I created this. Imagine what I could create if I actually garnered alignment, coherence around what I actually want, what my heart wants. And then I align my words, my emotional frequency, my thoughts, all of my resources of time, energy, money, energy, all of that. If I get really clear about my intention, if I get intense about my intention for what it is that I actually want, because most of us, we have this sort of want, but then we spend all this time doing these other things, right? My heart wants connection and passion and joy, but then my words are critical of others or myself, and my thoughts are angry or fearful, or I'm bullying myself. And then what I do is avoid looking at the finances and avoid having the conversation with my partner. Do you see how that creates total misalignment? I do this, right? Because in my world, alignment is like all those energy centers, right? Aligned. And then you can be a powerful instrument in your life to create what it is that you want. But you got to get untangled from the drama triangle. So for those of you who haven't access to my free drama triangle training, I'm going to link that in the comments below so you can check it out. This is a really powerful, important time for you to claim your life and reclaim who it is that you are and who it is that you want to be. And if you're interested in working with me, I am enrolling for one more week in my 8-week relationship mastery program. And then we won't be enrolling again until January. So DM me, message me if you are interested, and take very good care of yourself. Create alignment for what it is that you want, not what it is that you don't want, because either way it will create. So see you soon.